of you. Here we begin with the second class for the assessment procedure. Okay, what is most important in today's class is only two simple concepts we are doing, but very important. One is the dispute resolution panel. What is the role of DRP, that we will discuss. And second is section 47, last assessment, income escaping assessment. Even in case of raid and all, now the assessment is done only under 147. So this is one of the section which is completely revamped from financial year 21-22 with more add-ons from this year. Okay, so let us check it very quickly. I'm revising yesterday's class in a very gist way. If you have doubt, ask me. And listen, all of you, because this is a procedural topic. Yesterday we did assessment procedure. Today we are doing extended part. The next class is only Q&As for this chapter. How the question and answers are going to be asked in the exam, that we will discuss in the next class. Okay, right? So any doubt you have anywhere, just pause and ask me. Right now I'm sharing the screen. Okay, as I start, we can do it orally also. Yesterday I said that once you file your return, then the work starts from the department. You know, all the returns are online processed, and we have the CPC, that is the Central Processing Center in Bangalore, where the returns are processed. So when the SSE pays the final tax and file the returns, that is called as self-assessment tax. If there is a shortfall in the tax, whatever you have paid is first adjusted for the fees. Then it is adjusted interest, and then the remaining amount is adjusted as tax. Clear to all of you? So this is how your tax goes on. So if there is a shortfall in tax, again you have to pay the interest and pay it. Okay, in the assessment. Now assessment procedure, I will share the screen. We have completed scrutiny assessment and we have completed best judgment assessment. What are the cases wherein you may be liable for the scrutiny assessment that can be asked in exam? Till here we have done. Let us revise everything once, just from the beginning, what we have done. Especially in the flowchart, if you can recollect with me, and two flowcharts I have discussed. This is the hierarchy, CBDT, CBIC. And in CBDT, we have assessment wing and investigation wing. In that, higher authorities, all the top officers. Top officers are called TOs, I call them. PCCIT, CIT, and so on. Then we have AOs and so on. Now, if you have not filed your return, file your return. If you have already filed your return, then also you can get a notice of scrutiny under 143(2) that we want to check your books of accounts in detail and then file your return. Okay, so you will get a notice of scrutiny. And sometimes if you are not filing the return in the due date, you are not filing the return updated, then directly the department can do best judgment assessment. It is very much necessary to file the return of income, then only they can do scrutiny assessment. Best judgment assessment can be done without the return of income. Agar nahi bhi hai to bhi chalega. Here in scrutiny assessment, you can get a refund also and you may be liable to pay. In best judgment assessment, no question of getting the refund. It's only when you are liable to pay and you are not responding, the department will ask you to file the return. Okay? Chalo. So this is what we have discussed. Now, whatever assessment department does, whether it is scrutiny or whether it is the best judgment assessment 144 or today's case 147, can they, one second, can they ask for more of the inquiries and details? Yes. So this is the procedural part before your assessment is done. First of all, section 142(1)(1), they can ask you to file the return if you have not filed regular return, belated return, updated return, जो नया शुरू हुआ है 139(8)(a), वो भी file नहीं किया. If you have not done that also, then they can issue you a notice and they can ask you to file the return in 142(1). 142(2) and 3, these are to get more information from your books of accounts about your capital accounts, your datas, creditas, and 142(3) is other information. Other than books of accounts, they can ask, they can make inquiry. If required, they can ask you to get special audit done from a chartered accountant who will be appointed by central government. His fees will be decided, and max within 180 days, the special audit will be completed. He will give the report to the SSE, and SSE will give the report to the AO. Okay. In all these cases, department will give time to the SSE to be heard. Okay. And valuation officer. Certain cases, they will go for valuation also. If they feel no, these are the cases where valuation is required. Valuation karna zaruri hai yahan pe. Especially for some of the fixed assets or investments and so on, then yes, they can go for the valuation officer. Okay. Valuation officer, again, he will be a registered valuation officer who can do the valuation and report, and then AO will consider that and then do the assessment. Okay. This is all the detail which we have completed yesterday. I hope you have read it. Any doubt is there, ask. If they don't get the books of accounts audited, what is the way out? It's like best judgment assessment, and attracts penalties and prosecutions and all. Okay. Now, acha, is AO binding to consider the valuation officer? He may or he may not accept. And what all as किस चीज का valuation हो सकता है? Assets, properties, investments. So you can get valuation done, consider the report. Now, based on the return filed, first is your regular assessment, which is also called as summary assessment. You have filed the return, and if there is no change in the return, they will give you the acknowledgement, which is as good as intimation. Okay. In regular assessment or summary assessment, is it mandatory to give the intimation under 143(1)? Answer is yes. Is it mandatory to file the return? Yes. Either you file the return in 139. If you missed, file the return under 142(1). Then only they will process your return, and they will do all these corrections if required, and then the routine return will be over. For example, if there is arithmetical error, 550 plus 50, and you have written 555, actually 550 plus 50 is 600. Or if there is any incorrect claim, you have claimed ATC, but you have paid it late. Or disallowance of certain losses if you have not filed the return on time. Disallowance of expenditures, unreasonable payment to relative and all in audit report, but you ignored and you just filed the return in income tax. Disallowance of deductions. There are certain deductions which are allowed only if you file your return on time. So they will do all the corrections required. They will raise demand, and if not, they can give you refund. They will check up all the taxes, and within 9 months from the end of the financial year in which return is filed. So can I say it's from the end of the assessment year, 31st March 2023? Sorry, financial year is 20 to 23, assessment year end होगा 24, वहां से 31st December 2024 तक regular assessment should be over, and you will get all details. Sometimes while the regular assessment is going on, you get scrutiny notice. They will say, no, details scrutinize karna hai, check karna hai. Still the regular intimation is mandatory. There's a reason for that, because when there is, under reporting of income and all, then whatever income they give as per intimation, that's what they consider. Okay? Right. Scrutiny assessment is not just randomly taken, but there are some filters. When department has certain proofs that you have undershown your income, you have overshown your expenses and losses, or you have underpaid your tax, they can ask to get the detailed books of accounts. Yes. And they can even inspect all data, creditas, account, documents, papers. See, generally, whatever you upload, they will take it as correct, because that is called as self-assessment. You assess your income, you file your return, you pay the self-assessment tax, no problem. Clear? But he can take a scrutiny only if he is considering, ensure that SSE has, AO or prescribed authority, collectively referred to as AO, considered is necessary to ensure that SSC has not understated income, overstated losses, or underpaid the tax. He can make a scrutiny. Okay. Conditions for scrutiny is return must be filed. He should give all the details. They can get a refund. And within that, notice shall be served for scrutiny after expiry of 3 months from end of financial year. So 31st March 24 को assessment year खत्म हो रहा है. 30 June 24 तक scrutiny notice issue होगा and scrutiny will also be over in 9 months. So 31st December 2024 assessment will be completed. 9 months. Everywhere it's 9 months. In case of trust and all, they cannot ask you to cancel the registration. But yes, trust returns can also go for scrutiny. Okay. Best judgment assessment no one likes to do in routine, neither SSC nor department. But कोई रास्ता ही नहीं बचा है. They asked you to file the return, you didn't file. They gave you notice under 142(1), you didn't respond. They asked you to get the books of accounts audited. So you are not complying. Then the only way out is ठीक है, अब हमको जो ठीक लगेगा हम करेंगे. Best judgment assessment में never a refund will come. It's always you need to pay the tax. All right. How? In following situations, assessment shall be made under this section. If the person fails to file the return, or if the person fails to comply, इसमें 139 8A add करो. या तो you didn't file your return. We gave you notice additional time to file the return, that you didn't comply. You are not getting the books of accounts audited, and you are not complying with the scrutiny notice also, 143(2), to come up with the documents and evidences and all. In that case, AO is under an obligation to make assessment. Best judgment is not the discretionary power, but it is mandatory. Of course, he cannot make ad hoc. चलो जो हमको ठीक लग रहा है 10 लाख रुपए टैक्स है भरो खत्म करो. अरे but they will have some basis. Because of all these reasons, they will have some facts collected. Okay. Generally, before doing best judgment assessment, opportunity will be given to SSC of being heard. But listen, if the SSC didn't file regular return, we gave him 142(1), वो भी नहीं file किया, then there is no need of giving him more opportunity. Okay. And same within 9 months from the end of the assessment year, and no refund will be granted. Then yesterday we have seen that Joint Commissioner has got a power to direct the SSCs and all. Either SSC can ask or AO can ask, or Joint Commissioner himself is feeling that in this case, no, this can be done this way. So he can give directions to the AO. Are the directions binding on the AO? Yes. AO should follow the JC because he is higher authority, and according to that he will do. Till here we have completed. Now, if you have any doubt, you ask. I did all the revision for yesterday's class. Is it all clear until now? Ask if you have any doubt in any point in any language. Yes. Some points I have added in the 147 also. I'll give you time to write. They are the important ones. Now I want to discuss orally first dispute resolution panel. Dispute resolution panel. नाम से ही पता चल रहा है. When it is panel, ma'am, 3, 4, 5 people will be there. Yes. 3 commissioners are there. They'll form like a board. जैसे council जिसको बोलते हैं ना. And that is called as dispute resolution panel. And what is their work, in case of international transactions. Generally, in case of international transactions, if there is conflict, we can call for more details and we can issue the orders and all. In routine, everything is done. But in case of transfer pricing or international transactions, it's like we are dealing with NRIs and also पहले ही clarity कर दो कि हम लोग we are going to take this price, we are going to treat like this. Is it okay? So the department will give its opinion beforehand only. that why we should not do and give you a notice like this and do the judgment like this. Are you getting? So in case of transfer pricing and some transactions related to non-resident, it's like we are taking a view from DRP. The DRP, you say how this assessment should be done, and SSC is given time, and according to then the case will proceed. Are you getting one step extra? Generally, whenever the scrutiny, assessment, based judgment, department will take all the facts, decide and give their assessment. In case of DRP, they will give their opinion. They will give 7 to 30 days time to SSC that if you have any object, let us know. We will check it. If not, we are going to treat this as this way. Okay. So this is just like taking an opinion. Let us read it in detail. DRP. Dispute Resolution Panel. Dispute resolution mechanism presently in place is time consuming and finality in high demand cases it is attended only. Flow of the foreign investment is extremely sensitive. Therefore, Income Tax Act is amended an alternative dispute resolution mechanism which will facilitate expeditious resolutions, on a fast track basis. Ki chalo pehle hi bol do how you are going to do this. The AO shall, in the first instance, forward a draft of the proposed order. Such a beautiful concept this is, ki the AO is saying ki this is the draft and we are going to do your assessment in this way. Is it okay? If not, give your objections. तो हम उनको कुछ assess नहीं कर रहे, order नहीं भेज रहे, we are just sharing the draft. AO shall in the first instance forward a draft. Just understand this procedure, and based on this procedure how the questions are going to be asked we'll do tomorrow. Read and come. Okay, today I'm taking only two important concepts. We'll finish it fast, and I want to take a pause because unless you practice this you will not understand the question answers when I take in tomorrow's class. Sure. The assessing officer shall in the first instance forward a draft of the proposed order of assessment, hereinafter in this section referred to as draft order, to the eligible assessee if he proposes to make any variations in income or loss return which is prejudicial to the interest of the assessee. SSC, this is your international transaction. Transfer pricing, you are doing this way, but actually it is this way. And we are going to add this in income. So any order we want to pass in international transaction, before passing that order, can we give a draft order to the SSC? Yes. Any person in whose case the variation referred to arises as a consequence of the order of transfer. What are the cases? DRP kahan kaam karega? Any person in whose case variation referred to arises as a consequence order passed by transfer pricing officer. Transfer pricing is a part of international taxation we will do, wherein suppose you are buying and selling to your sister concern at unreasonable rate. Mena sister concern say I am buying from USA in 20 rupees, whereas the market rate is 16. So unnecessarily I am inflating my purchases. So like this, if there is a variation, the department can object to that. But before taking action, they will give you a draft order to the SSE. Or non-resident person, okay? Or to any foreign company. Koi bhi NRI hai, any NRI or any foreign company, if they feel the AO feels that if I pass this order directly, it would be prejudicial to the SSE, then first he is sharing the draft order कि हम ना ऐसा करने वाले हैं, right? On receipt of the draft order, eligible SSE shall, within 30 days of the receipt by him of the draft order, file his acceptance of the variation to the AO. 7 days to 30 days का time देते हैं, and within 30 days, SSE should inform to AO, okay, we accept. Instead of our purchases at 20 rupees, you are saying this purchases should be at I am purchasing from my foreign associate enterprise at 20, whereas I am purchasing same material from others at 16. The department is saying we are going to disallow 4 and we will allow only 16. Okay, no problem. Allow 16. If we agree, AO will proceed further, फिर तो कोई problem ही नहीं है. Or file his objection, if any, at such variation with the DRP and AO. What is DRP? It's a group comprising of 3 commissioners of income tax. So AO will give the draft order. SSC will say, no, sir, I have purchased 16 because it's a deteriorated quality. ये जो quality है, ये है, फर्क है. Whatever he wants to say his argument, he can say. I'm doing it in bits and parts so that you get all the procedure in sequence. So until now, what did I say? Let us see. DRP, Dispute Resolution Panel. What is it? 3 commissioners will be there, AO will be there, and SSC is there. AO is giving the draft order to the SSC that in so and so transactions of transfer pricing, non-resident foreign company, koi bhi, we are going to consider this. For example, your purchases of 20, we are rejecting and we are going to take purchases 16, 4 rupees, we will disallow. So AO is giving a draft order to SSC. If you accept it within 30 days, no problem. Or if 30 days are over and SSC is not taking any action, deemed to be accepted. If you reject, then reject and give your all the details within 30 days. So the SSC will give his opinion within 30 days whether he is accepting the DRP's draft or not. And he will also share the copy of it with the AO and with the DRP. So till here, I hope the procedure is clear. Next, AO shall complete the assessment on the basis of draft order. Okay, अब AO के पास draft order तो आ गया. If the SSC intimates to AO acceptance, if he accepts, AO will complete the assessment. फिर तो कोई conflict की बात ही नहीं है. Or no objections are received within 30 days as specified above. या तो आपको 30 days में कोई ऑब्जेक्शन ही नहीं आ रहा, या 30 days के अंदर द एसएससी सेइंग कि ठीक है, नो प्रॉब्लम. राइट? ओके, 1 second, dear students. Now time limit for passing the order. Okay, AO shall pass order within 1 month from the end of the month in which acceptance is received, or the period filing the objection is over. ठीक है, within 30 days time either you reject or you accept. If you don't take any action, then जहां पे वो खत्म होगा month and जहां पे 30 days खत्म हो रहा है, 1 month from there, 1 month from the end of the month acceptance is received, a period of 30 days is over, AO will make the judgment. Now, if the SSC objects, I will not accept. Now what DRP will do? DRP shall, in case where any objections are received, issue such directions as it think fit for guiding to AO to enable him to complete. Ma'am, exactly same like JC. JC is also giving the guidance. Na, तो अब ये DRP बोलेगा कि okay, the person objected, he is saying no, 16 is only correct. This quality is different, this is different. This में see carrying forwarding insurance का खर्चा मेरा नहीं है, इसमें है, and all. So he is arguing. So DRP will give his directions, but DRP will give directions after all this. DRP will take 9 months time max. So DRP will issue guidance after considering the draft order, objections of the SSC, evidence he will gather, report from valuation officer or TRP, TPO, please, sorry, transfer pricing officer. Records he will check, he will collect evidence, and whatever inquiry he want he can make. And then DRP may, before issuing any directions, make such further inquiry as it thinks fit, or cause any further inquiry to be made by any income tax authority and report the result of the same to it. Are you getting? DRP को पता चला that SSC has objected, he didn't accept. If the SSC accepts, the AO will make the decision, no problem. But if the SSC rejects, then the case goes to the DRP. DRP will check the draft, evidence, objects, records, everything. And then he can make further inquiry. And then panel may confirm, reduce, enhance the variation proposed. DRP तो और बढ़ा सकता है. Oh, purchases you are showing at 20, department is saying 16, genuinely तो your purchases is 10 per kg. और कम कर सकता है, or it can increase, or it can keep it same. All the powers are there to the DRP. So DRP panel, dispute resolution panel, consisting of 3 commissioners, they can confirm. ठीक है, okay, what SSC said is right, or what the AO said is right, or they can reduce or enhance the variation proposed in the draft order. Okay, right. So now the DRP will give his suggestion, increasing, reducing, enhancing the draft order. If the members of the panel differ, there are 3 panel members in the DRP, then the decision will be taken by majority. Every directions issued, star mark this point for MCQs and commenting question. Is the DRP's directions binding? Yes, on the AO. Department cannot change the directions. However, if SSC is not satisfied, no, DRP, this is not right, ये तो unjustified है, okay, then let the AO pass order considering the directions of the DRP, and then they can, SSC can go to ITET या appeal file कर सकते हैं. आपको समझ में आ रहा है? DRP judgment is binding on the department, and the AO has to follow the directions of the DRP and do the assessment in case of transfer pricing transactions. But suppose in few cases, if the SSC says no, even the DRP's judgment is wrong, SSC cannot argue or conflict the directions of the DRP. But based on the directions of DRP, whatever AO has passed the order, can they file against the ITET against this? Yes. If SSC is not satisfied with the final order, then he can file an appeal in the ITET. No direction shall be issued unless opportunity of being heard is given. हाँ, जब DRP इतना सारा खोद काम करेगा, इतना डिटेल निकालेगा, तो can he give opportunity to SSC as well as to AO कि देखो I have checked and all, whatever is prejudicial to interest of SSC and revenue. No direction shall be issued after 9 months from the end of the month in which draft order is forwarded to the eligible SSC. Whenever you have forwarded the SSC, वहां से 30 days के अंदर SSC will respond, and when you forwarded the order within 9 months, DRP should complete and give his opinion. Upon receipt of directions, the AO shall, in conformity with the directions, complete the assessment without providing any further opportunity of being heard to SSC within 1 month from the end of the month in which direction is received. Are you all with me? Upon the receipt of the directions, AO shall in conformity कब complete करेगा? Within 1 month from the end of the month. Time limits are clear or not? AO will always complete. SSC, you accept, no? 1 month from end of the month we will do. DRP, you gave the judgment in 9 months. DRP को 9 months का time is max सब करने के लिए. Whenever DRP gives his direction, 1 month from the end of the day, AO will do. Okay, and this procedure is also going to become now faceless. Check for once, take 2 minutes time. I'm here only. And any doubt you have in the DRP, ask me. Case study based questions are asked. We will discuss tomorrow. All right, put it in the chat box. What is your doubt? Yeah, dates you all should remember. हम फिर से एक बार इसको orally भी हम gist बना के याद रख सकते हैं, so that when they ask in exam, it should be clear to you. And how it says and what it says is, suppose there is transfer pricing related transactions wherein the SSE and the AO are differing, or there is any other assessment or order to be passed for any non-resident foreign company koi bhi. So, you know, these international transactions are very delicate. So the SSE and the AO is saying, first only you are going to do these international transactions. This is the value we will consider. This is the tax you will have to pay. This is this SSA karke. AO is giving a draft order to the SSE that I am going to assess it in this way. SSE को time they give 7 days to 30 days. Either accept it, then whenever the SSE accepts, from that month, within 1 month, AO will pass the order. Or SSE doesn't respond, within 1 month, AO will pass the order. Or SSE rejects and he objects कि no, this draft order is not right. Then the case will be given to the third party. SSE saying मैं ऐसे करूंगा, the department is saying मैं ऐसे करूंगा, SSE is saying no, I don't agree with what you are doing, and the case will go to third party. Who is the third party? DRP. DRP क्या करेगा? What the DRP will do? Yes, DRP will check all the details. He will get into the facts of the case and make more inquiry and call for more information from the SSE, from the department. And 9 months is the maximum time given to DRP, in which DRP will never give order. Pay attention to the language. DRP will not give order. DRP will give his directions. And according to directions of the DRP, who will pass the order? Who will pass the order? The AO will pass the order. Whenever DRP has given the directions, 1 month from end of that month, AO will pass the order. Is the DRP's directions binding on the department? Answer is yes. Is it binding on the SSE? Answer is no, not directly, but then it is like SSE, it is binding on the AO. AO to puri baat manega DRP ki, and he will pass the order. And if the SSE is having a conflict in the mind, he is objecting not only the AO, he is objecting DRP also. Then the SSE can go further to the 263, 264 ITET, all these cases. Okay, right? So this is all about the DRP, dispute resolution panel, wherein frankly this is like before doing international transaction. Chalo, let us take the this is a part. We will do one topic like this in international taxation also, and that is called as advance ruling. Advance ruling करके टॉपिक है, वहां भी ऐसे ही करते हैं. ठीक है, चलो next. Now I am doing starting with this income escaping assessment. This also orally, first you all listen what I am saying. Income escaping assessment क्या है, यहाँ ध्यान से सुनो. Income escaping assessment, this assessment is done when the department has super duper strong evidence that you have hidden the income. So very popular this assessment under 147. Scrutiny is over. Best judgment is over. This is the third kind of the assessment, and this assessment is done generally in case of survey and rate. Survey and rate में first earlier the assessment was done differently in 150 section, but now it is done here only. Other than this also, income escaping assessment is there if the department is having doubt that you may survey rate nahi hua hai, तो भी there are cases wherein you are caught up, and for doing assessment in 147, 148 का नोटिस इशू करना पड़ेगा. जैसे स्क्रूटनी असेसमेंट किसमें होता है? सेक्शन 143 सबसेक्शन 3. बट बिफोर दैट 143(2) में द डिपार्टमेंट गिव्स नोटिस टू एसएससी, फाइल द रिटर्न, गिव अस आवर डिटेल्स एंड ऑल. सेम वे Income escaping assessment में it is mandatory to send notice to the assessee to file the return. But ma'am, we have already filed the return. Then also answer is yes. Again, you'll have to file the return. And how many years they can do, like for कब तक पीछे जा सकते हैं? 3 years. From this year, 3 years backward. And if they feel income escaped is exceeding 50 lakhs, 10 years backward, 10 block years assessment they can do. So 10 years back तक they can ask you, चलो last 7 साल का return file करो मैम, but मैंने already कर दिया फिर भी. So what all are the tidbits? Section 147, income escaping assessment. That income's assessment is done. For that, issue the notice under 148. Before issuing the notice of 148, there is a 148A section. Uska procedure comply karna padega. And every time when you work for issuing the notice or for doing the assessment, you need to take the permission of the higher authority. And that for higher authorities, all the top officers, PCIT, Principal Commissioner, Commissioner, this, that, all. Clear to all of you? It's just a gist. And I have given in notes में मैंने पूरा detail आपको दिया है. अगर आप ध्यान से पढ़ोगे, आपको पूरा procedure वहीं के वहीं समझ में आ जाएगा. I'm skipping all this ICDS and 145 part. Here it is. This is the new scheme. These are the beautiful sections we are going to do right now. देखो. If any income, देखो पहले ये sections के नाम देख लो. What is 147? Assessment of income escaping assessment. So where you have not paid the tax and now you feel that you have hidden some income or not shown some assets or suppressed some investment or unexplained expenditures and all, then assessment is done in 147. For that, it is necessary to issue 148 notice. For notice, it is necessary to follow 148A procedure prior to the issue of the notice. Time limit of issue of the notice. Time limit of issue of notice, I said 3 years or 10 years. And you have to always take permission of higher authority. तो हायर अथॉरिटी का नाम आपको कहाँ मिल जाएगा? Who are the higher authorities? 151. Very interesting questions are asked in this. Okay. Now, if income chargeable to tax in a case, or फिर ma'am, even if we do income escaping assessment, suppose we feel 2018-19 जिसका रिटर्न भर लिया, assessment हो गया, and now this is picked up for income escaping assessment you are doing now. So the tax rate applicable now in 20, अभी इसका जो income मिस हुआ है, we are taxing it in 20 to 23 days, students. So now, will you put the tax rate 20 to 23 or 18-19? 18-19. Even though income escaping assessment, the assessment is done in running financial year, the tax rate is old one only, that is 18 and 19. All clear? Yeah? Right. Few cases it can be dropped. There are few cases wherein there is no time limit of 3 years and 10 years also. So all the exceptions also we will check. Is my speed fine? Can you all message? Not clear, NC, all clear. You have any doubts, unmute and speak up. Use the chat box. I'm not giving any break. I'm continuing. It's a smaller version. Or isko padho so that in the third class when we do commenting questions, it should all be clear to all of you. चले साथ में. All clear until now? Yes. This part is very, very important. I'm surely expecting a question in 147. I've already told you the important sections and the link. If you quote these sections, it's an added advantage. If you don't remember, don't quote the wrong sections. 147, where assessment is done. For doing assessment in 147, it is mandatory to file the return whether you filed earlier or not. तो उसके लिए नोटिस भिजाना होगा 148. To send the notice, you have to follow the procedure of 148A. And then 149, what's the time limit for issuing the notice? 3 years or 10 years? And whenever you issue the notice and whenever you do the assessment, you need to take always for everything the permission of the higher authority. And that higher authority कौन है? Top officers, principal commissioners, and so on. Okay, right. So if any income chargeable to tax in case of an SSA has escaped assessment, AO may, subject to provisions of 148 and 153, assess or reassess such income or recompute the loss or depreciation allowance or any other allowance. Okay. For the purpose of assessment or reassessment or recomputation, the AO may assess or reassess income in respect of any issue which has escaped assessment. Kuch to income they have hidden and it's not income hidden. If they have unexplained assets, unexplained expenditure, if they have done lavish celebrations, birthdays, anniversary, weddings, it all comes under income escaping assessment. That's why I said survey and raid cases also assessment is done here. And such issue comes to his notice subsequently in the course of proceeding, irrespective of the fact that provisions of 148A have not been complied with. Okay? अब ये थोड़ा सा अलग है. इसमें एक नया पॉइंट इन्होंने ऐड किया है बी वाला, फिर से मुझे पढ़ना है. सपोज देखो, हम ना आपका फाइनेंशियल ईयर 18-19 में वी आर सेइंग हाउस प्रॉपर्टी इनकम, सम रेंटल इनकम वाज देयर व्हिच यू हैव नॉट शोन, हाउस प्रॉपर्टी रीअसेसमेंट वी आर डूइंग. In between you come to know there is a capital gain also. Can they add extra income for the same year? ये बहुत अच्छा concept है. For please do lot of scribbling right now because there are few things I have not printed but I want all of you to write in form of example. Is my example clear? 18-19 higher house property income का हम reassessment कर रहे हैं. Now while doing that reassessment, capital gain you have undershown for the same year, but I have sent you notice sent for house property and I was doing reassessment. Now even if no notice, no separate notice is issued under 148, still can we do aajao, ab bhi aajao. As it is, we are reassessing the income of 18-19 for house property. अब करते करते पता चला कुछ बिजनेस इनकम अंडर शोन है, एक कैपिटल एसेट सेल किया वो बताया ही नहीं. So can you add on? Answer is yes. For the same year. Now suppose if house property is 2018-19, notice issued, I'll give you time to write all this as it is. Capital gain not shown. This is for 2019 and 20. 18-19 I was assessing house property income. I was reassessing, जिसके लिए I have notice I have issued under section 148. And I came to know capital gain not shown for another year. Then same notice can we do? Answer is no. Separate notice is required. Separate notice required. Why, ma'am? Because assessment year is different. You write it. I will read out this whole one and make it clear. ऐसे ही case law बना के पूछेंगे आपको, case study बना के. Can you just write it the way I have written in your textbook or in your notebook, wherever you feel comfortable? 18-19, I was assessing house property. But for the same year, capital gain came. Check, and when you complete writing, message me. Anywhere if my writing is not clear, I was dictating. Separate notice is required because the assessment year is different. Don't think, हाँ मैम समझ में आ गया, लिख के रखो. There are still 2.5 months to go for your exam. You need to do a lot of good quality study for many good topics. अभी तो और बहुत अच्छे अच्छे topics बाकी हैं. तो ऐसा ना हो कि आगे आगे करते जाएं, पीछे बोलते जाएं. Are you all writing the exam for trust? It's a very nice paper for trust and return of income, and at least minimum weightage in 100 marks is 8 plus 8. 15 marks for these two topics, including separate question MCQs all. हो गया लिखना? चलो एक बार पढ़ते हैं. For the purpose of assessment, the AO may assess or reassess income in respect of any issue which has escaped assessment, and such issue comes to notice subsequently, irrespective of fact that provisions of 148A have not been complied. आपने उसको नोटिस नहीं भेजा, नोटिस का प्रोसीजर नहीं फॉलो किया, still can you add on? Answer is yes. But if it is for different year, separate notice is required. If other income escaped assessment is for other assessment year, there is a printing mistake. AS नहीं, AY. AY है वो. ठीक है. चलो. Now, issue of notice where income has escaped assessment. Okay. Now we all know that for this assessment, notice you have to give. Okay. But before giving the notice, what did I say? We have to follow procedure. तो पहले मैं आपको प्रोसीजर पढ़ा रही. I know I'm jumping pages, but this is the way to do it. थोड़ा 2 बार रिपीट होगा तो क्लियर हो जाएगा. Ma'am, for 147 assessment we have to issue 148 notice. For 148 notice issue करने के पहले we need to comply with 148A, which is a 3-step procedure. First, conduct any inquiry if required prior approval of the specified authority. What are specified authorities? Top authority. And 151, with respect to information which suggests that income chargeable to tax has escaped assessment. Conduct the inquiry. Show us the details of your assets, how you have renovated your bungalow. Show us the detail of source of income from which you have invested money in the share market. Show us the detail of source of income for your world tour, or like this. Just giving some example. So can we conduct inquiry in 148A? Yes. Provide an opportunity of being heard to assessee with prior approval of the specified authority by serving him a notice to show cause. You know, show cause notice कैसे रहते हैं? Question form में. You tell me, assessee, why I should not assess your income, because I have a doubt that you have hidden the income. So if you feel that you disagree with what we are saying, then just, if you disagree, then in that case, revert back. So provided an opportunity of being heard with the prior approval of authority by served upon with notice, as may be specified in notice, being not less than 7 days, not 30 days, as may be extended on the basis of application. यहाँ से देखो language. As to why notice of 148 should not be issued on basis of information which suggests that income chargeable to tax has escaped assessment and a result of inquiry conducted. So we are conducting an inquiry. Then first we are not issuing 148 notice. First we are issuing a show cause notice that why we should not give you 148 notice and ask you to file a return, because we feel some income has escaped assessment. कुछ तो छुपाया है आपने. Consider the reply of the assessee furnished in response to the show cause notice. Decide on the basis of material available on the record, including the reply of the assessee. Decide on the basis of fact available जो हमारे पास है, including reply of assessee, whether or not it is fit case for reassessment with the prior approval within 1 month from end of month in which reply is received, or 1 month is passed and no replies. ये time limit सब में same है. जो DRP के लिए था ना अभी टाइम लिमिट, that same is there here. Are you seeing? I have literally skipped one full page because this part is very important and very interesting. Suppose we have issued the notice on 15th, ये example में लिखो, सब लोग साथ में लिखो. 15th October को we have issued the notice. उसके बाद 30 October 22 reply received. Reply कितने दिन में आएगा dear students? Within 1 month. 7 days to 30 days के बीच में they will reply received from the SSC. Okay. Then whenever you have received the reply, end of month plus 1 month. तो 31st October से 1 month तक 30/11/22 इशू नोटिस. अब तो कंफर्म हो गया, आपने भी एग्री कर लिया. इशू नोटिस अंडर 148 और 148 का नोटिस है क्या? फाइल द रिटर्न. फाइल द रिटर्न 3 years 10 years. They should comply within 1 month. This is first case. Second, if till 1 month notice जहां से हमने भेजा, 7 days to 30 days time we have given. 7 days to 30 days के time department दे सकती है. Can the department give less than 30 days time? If they feel नहीं, this is prejudicial, they can give 10 days time also. Okay. And suppose if time limit given is say 10/11/22. 15th October को नोटिस भेजा कि 10/11 तक आप बता देना. नहीं आया तो वहां से no response by SSC, then end of the month. If there is no response, अगर reply है, go ahead with the up one. Then end of the month 31st October से 1 month, तो 31st December 22 तक go ahead, issue the notice. Take your time, write it. I know it's, as a student I can definitely understand so many dates I've given you in assessment procedure. स्क्रूटनी का नोटिस 3 महीने में भेज दो. स्क्रूटनी, बेस्ट जजमेंट सब 9 months में खत्म होगा from the end of the assessment year. One more table I have given after this, there it will be clear, but अभी तो ये पूरा लिखो. 15th October को नोटिस किया, अगर within 30 days में रिप्लाई कर दिया तो वहां से end of the month by 31/11 the department will act and issue the notice. Are you all following or not? Can you give some message in the chat box? If time limit given कि 10/11 तक का ही टाइम दिया मैम, बट 10/11 30 days नहीं है, 7 to 30 days का टाइम they will give. Show cause notice SCN, और वो 30 days में no response, then end of the month से 30 days. Okay. Just note this 2 minutes break we will take, 2 to 3 minutes, 1 hour we have been doing. And okay, just let us take up a gist once again, that for 147 assessment you have to send a notice and ask SFC to file the return in 148. Before giving the notice in 148, follow 148A procedure. What is 148A procedure? Conduct inquiry and give them show cause notice that why I should not give you this notice. And the SSC should reply to that show cause notice within the time limit given. Okay. They can give show cause notice के लिए time limit 10 days, 15 days, 20 days, whatever it is. Okay. Right. Specified authority is already always 151. Now, issue of notice where income has escaped assessment. Do it outside. Do that shut down. Sure. Now, so now procedure is clear over here. Let me just recollect once again. I know we are getting disturbed today. Chal. Acha. 148A procedure is not applicable in few cases. 148A procedure is like being courteous to ask the SSC why we should not issue you the notice of 148 reply. So we gave them show cause notice and within 1 month they will do. Cases where 148A procedure is not applicable, where a search is initiated. See, when there is a search, we already know that they have hidden some income. So what's the point in asking them, shall I give you 148 notice or not? I told you search and survey, always the assessment is done in 147. And for that 148 notice, directly they will issue. So what are the cases when 148A formality of conducting the inquiry and all is not required? In case if there is a search or assets are requisitioned, they take away with the assets, or AO is satisfied with prior approval of the commissioner that any money, jewelry, bullion, valuable article, or the search in case of any other person belongs to SSE. Search is not for the SSE, it is for any other person. But in any other person search, it is recovered that I mean, say the SSE is having undisclosed income and all. Okay. Or if the AO is satisfied with the prior approval of the commissioner that any books of accounts or documents seized in search or requisition under 148 in case of other person pertains or has information contained for SSE. Either there is a raid case for SSE or there is raid case for other SSE, but wherein it is recovered that SSE has hidden some asset or has spent lot of money and all unexplained expenditure, or books of accounts of third party are seized where it is recovered. Whenever there is a raid, it's like on group of companies, group of people, friends, neighbors, sisters, wherever they have a doubt, all these people can also come into the assessment. And last one is added from this year. Can you all please note it down in your book? Where AO has received information under the scheme notified under 135A pertaining to income chargeable to tax escaping. Write down this. I'll tell you what is 135A. I've already printed, but I'll tell you. ये एक ऐड हुआ है अभी, तो you all also write it down now in class. Earlier it was all the three, and just from now they have added this fourth one also. AO has received some information under a scheme which is notified under 135A pertaining to income chargeable to tax. Clear to all of you? Now, what is 135? When you file tax audit report, lot of extra information is taken from you, or lot of information goes to department from your AIS and other details. So through any of these modes, if they have recovered, okay, through any of these modes, if they have got information already that income chargeable to tax has escaped assessment, okay, then definitely there is no need to do this formality of giving the show cause notice, and directly they can issue 148. Check for yourself, is this clear to all of you or not? Okay, check it. See, for 147 assessment, give the notice in 148. Cases wherein for 148 you have to ask first. It's like a courtesy ki we want you to file return again for the last 3 years or last 10 years in the block. We are, as a courtesy, we are asking, tell us why we should not issue you show cause notice therein. This formality of asking and courtesy is not required when we know already that there is a raid case going on, search, survey going on for SSC. Okay? Or if there is a raid case in case of other parties, if there is a raid case in case of other parties and the SSC's name has come, or books of accounts are seized of other parties but SSC's name has come, or in case of tax audit and some other reports, we, for example, export also we need a report from CA, tax audit detailed report goes from CA, so many questionnaires are there. Okay, so in that case, in 135A, definitely, if the department is already having an information, no problem, no need of 148A. Okay, so now we can give notice under 148A. Now, how the notice is given under 148A? Before making the assessment and or recomputing income under 147, 148A provisions, AU shall serve SSC a notice, okay, along with a copy of order passed if required under 148AD, wo jo formality wala, courtesy, require him to furnish return within a period as may be specified, a return of income or income of any other person in respect of which he is assessable under this act during the previous year. For filing of such return, provision relating to section 139 shall be applicable. So file the return and boldly underline this. Even if the return is already filed, return is to be filed again and return cannot be revised also. You have already filed the return, but after the raid, you need to file again return. Acha, in that return, if there is a mistake, can you revise that? No, this is not a routine return 139 1. No mahine ka time hai till December 23. You can revise as many times as you want. No. Are these points clear to all of you? Next is see, one thing should be clear. This is a little harsh section. When they are asking you to file the return, let us go and check for how many years they can ask you to file the return. Raid ke case mein they can go for the block of 10 years. So let us see. No notice under 147 shall be issued for the relevant assessment year within 3 years from the end of the assessment year unless the case falls below. So right now it is financial year 2022-23 and 3 years backdated. So 2018-19 completed plus 1 year, 20 में complete हुआ, 21 में complete हुआ, 22. Can you issue the notice for 18-19 right now? Answer is no, because 3 years are over. Are you all with me? 18-19 financial year, year ending 20, year ending 21, year ending 22. 3 years are over. And our financial year is 22-23. Can we issue the notice? No. But where we have a doubt, the income escaping is crossing 50 lakhs. 50 lakhs. Then can we go back 10 years also? Yes. Where the AO has in possession books of accounts, other documents, evidence, which reveals that income chargeable to tax represented in the form of asset, which has escaped assessments, amount to or is likely to amount to 50 lakhs or more. It's not in the form of asset. Asset can be in the form of unexplained expenditure also. A lavish wedding or a celebration or some asset you have acquired, you have renovated the bungalow. So wherever they have a doubt ki more than 50 lakhs rupees you have spent, notice can be issued beyond 3 years but not beyond 10 years from the end of the relevant assessment year. Okay, right? So what's the time limit of issuing the notice for income escaping assessment? 3 years. If not, 10 years. Okay. Now, whenever you check these 3 years and 10 years and all, few years are excluded. This is, I feel, important नहीं है उतना. Read कर लेंगे. I will read it. It's not I'm saying कि घर में पढ़ना. And every time I am saying, take the permission of higher. अच्छा, notice issue करना है, higher authority का permission लो. 148 is show cause notice issue करना है, higher authority. Who is this higher authority? So where 3 years have not been elapsed, just last 3 years we are giving, then principal commissioner, principal director or commissioner. Where more than 3 years have elapsed, then principal chief commissioner, PCCIT, principal director general. And where there is no principal chief commissioner, then chief commissioner. So in short, can I say top authorities? Can I say top authorities का permission लगेगा आपको? Yes, to issue the notice and even to issue the show cause notice. Chalo, now we will go back and actually read the procedure. No notice shall be issued unless there is information with the AO which suggests that income chargeable to tax has escaped assessment. Full proof is there with the department. Then only they do. Rates and all are otherwise also very expensive. So many staff, so many people will come simultaneously at all the offices, bank lockers, homes, residents, warehouses and farmhouses and neighbors' place and friends' place. So, ये बड़ा task है. So whenever all this is done, they will have a solid information. Okay. Information which suggests AO that income chargeable to tax assessment. कहाँ से information मिलेगी? Here also, till last year only 2 were there. Now 3 more cases are added. Can you please note it in your book? Can you put me a message? Is writing over? I'm going little slow, but surely another 10 minutes and we'll complete it for today. And because this is very important and I want you to take time to digest this, I'll stop it here in case say related more than 20 questions are printed. After this, we will discuss it in the next class. All right. Now, what information department will have that will give them a link that you have escaped assessment? First, information flagged in case of SSC for any assessment year according to the risk management strategy formulated by board. Risk management strategy is nothing but AIS, annual information statement, which banks and clubs and credit card agencies should send. Okay, we call it also as specified financial transactions, or any financial objections raised by CNAG to effect that assessment in case of SSE for relevant assessment year has not been made in accordance with the provision. CNAG, when they do the rechecking and all, they might get information, or information received under agreement referred in 90A or 90. What is that agreement referred in 90A? In case of DTA and all, if you get information, no, so and so person has hidden the income. Any information made available to AO under 135, अब भी आपको बताया. 135 is additional information furnished in the tax audit report and then processed. Any information which requires action consequence of the order of the tribunal or a court. अच्छा है, clear है, समझ में आ रहा है? 5 reasons which will give a solid proof information to department that yes, we will send you a notice and yes, you have to file the return. Next, यहाँ पे I have written where, instead of where, add it cases where it is deemed that AO is having information. वही same cases, raid cases and all. AO is deemed to have information. Where we don't need DTA, tribunal and court. Where where there is a raid or where there is a survey other than TDS TCS survey. Or AO is satisfied prior approval of commissioner that any money bullion in case of others belong to SSE, or any books of accounts belonging to others belong. So in this case, no, not necessary. These are the same cases in which 148A not necessary. Please write down the heading. If you have missed this, ये जो टॉप में हेडिंग है ना, ये पूरा एज इट इज कॉपी करो. AO is deemed to be having information. 148A की नोटिस की जरूरत ही नहीं है. If it's a raid case, survey case, raid of others, document of others, no need. AO shall be deemed to be having information suggests that income chargeable has escaped assessment for 3 years preceding the assessment year relevant to previous in which search is initiated. Okay. And specified authority means same 151. Uska detail lena padega. In all the above cases, order of the assessment or reassessment or computation under this act shall be passed by AO. Generally, order is passed by AO, but below the rank of JC with the prior approval of ACIT, AD or JC or JD. You remember or not? Assistant Commissioner, additional Director और joint commissioner, joint director, इनकी permission लेके below this rank the AO can also do assessment of income escaping assessment. Write down this. There only in the textbook. I'll tell you where. 1 second. Page number 121. 121 में है already. This point is there. Add this one. See, generally the assessment permission will be taken of PCIT, but assessment will be done by joint commissioner, joint director, additional commissioner, additional director. If you want, write down the full form. Additional commissioner, additional director, joint commissioner, joint director. Any AO can do, but they need to take the prior permission of this higher authority. Conducting inquiry, I have told you. Time limit, I have told you, 3 saal tak, then they can ask. While doing this 3 years, whatever time goes in show cause notice. Dear student, show cause notice time is given between 7 days to 30 days. तो उसमें भी तो time जा रहा है ना? So that time is excluded, where immediately after excluding the show cause notice, if the period is less than 7 days, तो 7 days का time दे दिया. Asset shall include immovable property being land, building or both, shares, securities, loans. We are saying that if any income has escaped assessment or any asset is there, ये जो asset है ना, the asset can be in the form of land, building, shares, securities, loans, advances, all. No notice shall be issued without getting the approval of higher authority. This I already told you. अब ये भी एक अलग किस्सा है. R for reading, just एक थोड़ा लिख के छोड़ दो. Under section 150, notice may be issued at any time. No time limit. यहाँ पे लिखो, no time limit of 3 years or 10 years. Sometimes I will explain this first orally in my way. पहले ध्यान से सुनो. Sometimes, order is passed higher authority like 263, 264 है, या ITET है, या revisionary orders है. After these higher authorities are passing the order and they are saying, no, now it is full and final, this income doesn't belong to A, this belongs to B. But ab ye B ki income hai. And in B's hands, this is income escaping assessment. B is saying time limit is over, 3 years are over. A ke haath mein we cannot assess, because now the judgment has come that this is not A's income, this is B's income. B is saying time limit. So in such cases, when income is to be taxed in other person's hand or assessment year, income escaping assessment belongs to 16 and 17. तो आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते. 3 years are over. But revisionary order is passed saying, no, this is not 16-17's income. This is 2021's income. Now 3 years ka time is there. So when assessment changes, when SSC changes, this time limit doesn't work. Unlimited time hai, kabhi bhi they can give you the notice. This is just one provision. I don't think itna depth mein they will ask, but you should know. As per 151, that's why I want to simplify the language and give you some running notes to write below that. Notice may be issued at any time for the purpose of making assessment in consequence or effect of finding or directions contained in order passed by any authority in any proceedings under this act by way of appeal, reference or revision. ITET ने डिसीजन दिया या कहीं रिविजन ऑर्डर पास किया और एनी कोर्ट, हाँ, बट तब भी ये दिस वाज नॉट इनकम एस्केपिंग में, इट कैन नॉट बी कॉट एट दैट टाइम, देन इवन आफ्टर चेंजिंग इट कैन नॉट बी कॉट. फॉलो. Provision shall not apply in case unlimited time ka provision does not apply in case where assessment in respect of assessment could not have been made at the time order subject matter was made reason of aforesaid limit. तो तब भी नहीं ओपन कर सकते तो अब भी नहीं ओपन कर सकोगे, ऐसा नहीं है. यू कैन हैव नो लिमिट ऑफ 3 years and 10 years. ओके, इसको लिख दो. नो लिमिट ऑफ 3 years and 10 years in case where assessment year changes or SSC changes. SSC चेंज हो गया, ए नहीं, अब मिसेज ए के हाथ में टैक्सेबल है, तो मिसेज ए के लिए कोई टाइम लिमिट नहीं रहे. डन, फिनिश्ड राइटिंग. Can you all please put me a message if any doubt is there? You know, if it is a problems we are solving for trust or MAT, you all give the answers in the chat box. Today chat box is not active. I know you will take little time to digest all this. Asha, what were the 5 cases wherein कोई जरूरत ही नहीं है उनको 148 is show cause notice की, raid case, survey, and where we have full proof DTA. और 2 cases हैं, 5 cases है जहां पे उनके पास पूरा information है, they don't want to go into detail. Sanction way I have told you. Whenever you want to send a notice or a show cause notice, you need to take the permission from the higher authorities. Even this assessment is going to be faceless, eliminating interface between the department and SSC and all. Okay, super duper point. Rate of tax. If an assessment reassessment is made under 147, tax shall be chargeable at the rate which would be charged if income is not escaped. This income, say income belongs to 2018-19. If income belongs to 18-19, assessed in 22-23, tax rate, agar ye income, if this would have not been income not escaped assessment in that year 18-19, तो 18-19 का ही आएगा. कब? Clear to all of you or not? Take your time. Is it clear? If this income belongs to say last 10 years, 16-17, and you are escaping and you are paying the tax and all now, but at what rate? 16-17 के हिसाब से. But will they allow any expenses and all and all? No. When can a reassessment proceedings be dropped? You know, sometimes they have initiated the reassessment, But after the reassessment is opened, they realize that you have already paid more than required tax on this. Then can the reassessment be dropped? Yes. Where an assessment is reopened under 147, an SSE has not opposed any part of the original assessment for that year, either in 246 to 248, koi appeals and all, High Court appeals and all, or 264 revision. So you have not opposed, and the higher authorities have already imposed more tax on that, and it shows that he has been assessed an amount or to a sum not lower than what he would be rightly liable for, even if income alleged to have escaped assessment had been taken into account, or assessment or computation has been properly made. Then the proceedings under 147 will be dropped. Take your time. 147, we said, okay, this income has escaped assessment, you have not paid any tax, now you pay 78% tax. ये वो जो है उस साल का इनकम है तो उस साल के इनकम से टैक्स पे करो, जैसे जो हो रहा है. But if this case has already gone to the higher authority, they have charged you more tax in revisionary order 264 में, जो डिपार्टमेंट खुद इनिशिएट करती है, 264 revision order, or in other 246 to 248 appeals and tribunals and all. This is already reassessed and SSC has not objected. He has already paid more tax. Double tax तो world में कहीं नहीं लगेगा, तो no problem. Assessment is dropped. No order of assessment shall or reassessment shall be made 147 after the expiry of 12 months from the end of the financial year in which the notice is served. Ma'am, just now you said everywhere the time limit has gone down to 9 months. But यहाँ पे अभी भी कितना है? 12 months from the end of the year. 12 months from the end of the financial year in which notice is served. Suppose notice under section 148 is served on 31st October 22. So this ends on 31st March 23. वहां से 12 months plus 12 months, that is 31st March 2024 over and out. Within 12 months from the end of the financial year in which notice is served, assessment will be completed. Okay. This all will become faceless. Now we know. A summary I have given for time limit. Just let us check, because summary assessment, first wala, regular assessment, arithmetical error, incorrect claim, disallowed losses and all. It must be sent within 9 months from end of the financial year in which return is filed. Scrutiny assessment, best judgment within 9 months from the end of the relevant assessment year. Notice of scrutiny within 3 months. So March 23 तो June 23 तक scrutiny की notice भरना और December 23 तक खत्म हो जाना. 9 months from the end of the relevant assessment year. Sorry, December 24. Financial year 22-23. Return कब file किए? Assuming 31st July 23. So end of the year when you have filed the return, वहां से 9 months. So 31-12-2024. Okay, ये भी 31-12 और ये 3 months का टाइम है 30 June 2020 स्क्रूटनी की नोटिस के लिए. Assessment, scrutiny and all 9 months. Issue of notice, that is 3 years and 10 years, I have already told you. And completion of income escaping assessment within 12 months. ये अभी मैंने ऊपर लिखा है यहाँ पे 12 months. Whenever they send you the notice, end of that financial year, वहां से 12 months. And in all this time, exclude time taken for reopening, re-hearing. कुछ कोर्ट का स्टे ऑर्डर आया है और 6 महीने केस रुक गया, तो that time will be excluded. Just R for reading. एक बार बस ग्लांस कर लेना. टाइम अलाउड फॉर ऑडिट 180 days, तो ऑडिट के लिए टाइम देते हैं तो वो निकाल दो. टाइम बिटवीन फाइलिंग अ डिक्लेरेशन एंड डेट ऑफ ऑर्डर, एंड इफ 60 days से कम टाइम है तो टाइम तो देना पड़ेगा. पीरियड कमेंसिंग फ्रॉम डेट ऑन विच रेफरेंस इज मेड, DTA से अगर इंफॉर्मेशन निकालनी है, आने में टाइम लगता है, वेट करो. You know, under 147 we are collecting information from various places. CNAG, DTA, इधर उधर काफी जगह से information. Tax audit report 135. So it takes time to process, and that process में anywhere if the balance available period is less than 60 days, 60 days time is given. ठीक है. सेटलमेंट में गए तो सेटलमेंट में गए और वापस है, दैट पीरियड इज एक्सक्लूडेड. So we will just complete these two very small sections and question answers we will take it in the next part. Okay, ये नहीं करना है. अभी हम एक छोटा सा पार्ट कर रहे हैं जो कहीं ना कहीं पूछते हैं, प्रोटेक्टिव असेसमेंट. आई वांट टू टॉक ओरली अबाउट इट. There are two brothers who are fighting for the property ownership, A and B. तो ए एंड बी लड़ रहे हैं. अब रेंटल इनकम तो आ रही है, तो व्हाट डिपार्टमेंट विल से whoever is receiving the rent should pay the tax on safer side. A and B is saying, अरे डिपार्टमेंट प्लीज वेट, जब झगड़ा खत्म हो जाएगा हम पूरा इनकम पे टैक्स एक साथ देंगे. डिपार्टमेंट will do protective assessment, not in both the hands. Whoever is right now receiving the income, suppose A is receiving the income, A will have to pay the tax on house property income. Finally, after the dispute is over, all the property goes to B. So the A will recover the tax amount and all, and it will be done, and now onwards B. So protective assessment department does on its side. This is added. This you will not find in your CMA material, but scanner से मिले हैं कि questions इन पे आते हैं, हम ये करेंगे. When ownership of income is in dispute or is a matter, AO can assess income in the hands of one or them in protective basis. One of them, not all. This is to protect the interest of revenue, to ensure on finality additions may not be denied on the ground of limitation of time. Once finality regarding the identity of taxpayers to be taxed is established, extra assessment is cancelled, but the department cannot recover the tax from both the assessee in respect of the same income. Followed? दोनों से नहीं recover करेंगे. Extra assessment is cancelled under 154, treating it as a mistake. हाँ, 154 में होता है ना rectification of mistake. Any order passed by the department can be rectified within 4 years and all. तो उसमें rectify कर लेना. Okay? And they can cancel. Protective assessment is not a method of assessment. Assessment is done in 143 and 144 as per the court's order, like Benami transactions and litigation of ownership. This is like 292B. इतना पूछते हैं exam में, so I have added here both 292B, and I feel you should remember these sections. Frankly speaking, why I'm taking here is it's very relevant question of assessment procedure. In your syllabus, this is discussed with one very small irrelevant topic है, शायद बच्चे वो पढ़ते भी नहीं है, recovery of taxes and notices. वहां दिया है, but it is relevant to this. What it says, department is giving you some notice, you are responding to the notice, and your assessment is completed. डिपार्टमेंट ने 148 में मेरे को नोटिस दिया, आई गेव ऑल द डिटेल्स एंड आई पेड टैक्स एंड माय इनकम इज असेस्ड. 153(2) में मेरा असेसमेंट भी खत्म हो गया. आई टोल्ड यू और नॉट इनिशियली, वंस अगेन रेड केस आल्सो assessment is done in 147 only now. So the assessment is done. Later on, the assessee realized that the notice received was defective or it is time based. नोटिस आना था 3 साल में, 3 साल के बाद का नोटिस भी भेजा और हमने फिर भी रिस्पॉन्ड कर दिया एंड ऑल. देन कैन द एसएससी से नो नोटिस वाज ओनली रॉन्ग, all the assessment you have done department is wrong? Answer is no. This is a hot favorite question and that's why the language I want you all to learn. ये थोड़ा सा smart work है. I am taking this time efforts कि there are few things not very relevant in the study material, but they are asking questions. Let us discuss because we want to score good marks in exam, चाहे इधर उधर होगा कोई चैप्टर में. So what I am saying is, what is this? Once again, department gave me wrong notice. Wrong का definition क्या है? Late दिया. प्रॉपर फॉर्मेट में नहीं दिया, टाइम बार्ड हो गया, या कुछ कंडीशंस which they had to satisfy, they didn't check in, just they gave a notice. But I responded, and based on my response, my assessment is also completed. Can we say assessment is invalid? Answer is no. Assessment is valid. That's why I'm discussing this here, because I feel assessment के लिए ये बड़ा important है. Last part इसको check करो and then it's done for today. देखो. No return of income assessment notice, summons, a proceeding furnished or made or issued or taken or have been furnished or made in pursuance of any provision shall be invalid merely by reason of any mistake, defect or omission in such return of income assessment. Oh sorry, पहले ये डिस्कस करते जो मैंने अभी डिस्कस किया. Wherein SSC has appeared in the proceeding or cooperated in inquiry relating to assessment, it shall be deemed that notice which is required to be served upon him has been duly served upon him in accordance with the provisions of Act, and such notice shall be precluded from taking any objection in proceeding under this Act that notice was not served upon him, notice hi nahi mila, or it was not served in time, or it was not served in proper manner. However, aforesaid provision is not applicable where SSC has raised the objection before the completion of assessment. ये नोटिस का क्वेश्चन है 292BB, यहाँ क्यों डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, क्लियर है. SSC has appeared for any proceeding, he cooperated with the inquiry, and it is deemed that notice is correct and assessment is correct, even if neither नोटिस ही सर्व नहीं किया, फिर भी हमने एसेस किया और पे कर दिया टैक्स, तो बात खत्म. या नोटिस टाइम पे नहीं दिया, और आइदर नोटिस इज नॉट सर्व्ड इन प्रॉपर मैनर. But if you object to all this before the assessment is completed, department will consider. Literally, I'm feeling I'm taking a law class and not income tax class, but we are helpless. This is the core income tax law. Same way, return of income, etc., not to be invalid on certain grounds. Sometimes there is silly mistake in the return of income. It's not a defective return if there is some very small error. Let us see. No return of income assessment notice, summons, other proceedings furnished or made or issued or made of any provision shall be invalid merely by reason of any mistake, defect or omission in such return of income assessment notice, summon, if return of income assessment notice or other proceeding in substance and in effect with conformity or in according with the intent and purpose of that. Clerical mistake doesn't make official document invalid. कोई नोटिस आई, उसमें दीप्ति छेड़ा की जगह मेरा नाम दीप्ति लिखा है, कहने से मेरा नाम ही नहीं था, मैं क्यों रिस्पॉन्ड करूं नोटिस को. Or if I have uploaded the return, everything I took it correctly, but some pan में capital की जगह small लिखा or something, it's a very silly mistake from the SSC sides and department side. So based on clerical mistake, you cannot reject a return from SSC or a notice from the department. Okay, so these are two sections and all the assessments done are valid. One reading, if you can give to the question 1 to 20, which we are going to discuss in the next class, it will make my work easier. Few answers which are, I feel language is important, I have printed. Few I have not printed. I'll make you write in the next class. Study everything about 147. फिर से एक बार 147 का assessment करना है ना, 148 का notice भेज, 148 का notice भेजना है ना, 151 टॉप प्रायोरिटी अथॉरिटी से परमिशन, 148 का प्री नोटिस प्रोसीजर फॉलो करो. 148 प्री प्रोसीजर, व्हाट इज कंडक्ट इंक्वायरी, हैव दे एक्चुअली एस्केप्ड असेसमेंट, एंड देन issue a so cause notice to SSC. Why we should not give you a notice of 148? If you object, respond. If not, we will issue the notice, and that none of formalities of pre-formality of 148A is required. If it's a raid case, survey case, or 135 MA already information is there with department. When we can say department has information, foolproof information hai, to they will go. You know, Hawa mein they are not going to do the assessment and notices of 147 is not that simple. So when do they 5 cases wherein they have full proof information? In case of raid, in case of survey, 135A, DTA or any other order. कोर्ट से कोई आपको डिटेल आया and you come to know कि income has escaped assessment. So I hope I have justified my best to explain and simplify this law-like topic. And few things are printed; they are part of your syllabus. Time limit will exclude this. 150 wala unlimited time hai. Just read it, leave it. Important ones will be very clear again when we overlap and do it in the question answer form. Okay. So that's all for today. Thank you so much. Read and come till we meet again in the next class. And promise everyone sitting in the class should attempt the exam. Charitable trust ke class bhi dhyan se sune hai na, then also you will be able to attempt the question. If you have heard my classes also properly. So don't miss on the exam. That is just to boost you, not to scare you, and to give you a time frame ki is time frame mein padhai karo. थोड़ा प्रेशर होगा कि मैम अभी आप नेक्स्ट मैट भी शुरू कर रहे हैं, इसको खत्म कर रहे हैं, उसके बीच में कहाँ ट्रस्ट और वो पढ़े. एनी हाउ यू हैव टू स्टडी, नो, तो स्टडी एंड फिनिश द ट्रस्ट. डू द स्कैनर के थोड़े क्वेश्चंस, रिवाइज माय क्लास वर्क. रिवाइज माय क्लास वर्क फॉर रिटर्न ऑफ इनकम इज सच अ सिंपल टॉपिक. और जो कंपलसरी 1 मार्क के 4 क्वेश्चन आते ही हैं, तो वी डोंट वांट टू टेक अ रिस्क ऑफ 15 मार्क्स कोर चैप्टर. After this procedure and MAT, promise I will not take those RAID and ICDS and all. I will first complete international taxation. So weightage wise, you get confidence that you have completed a major portion. I am by your side. You have any doubt in preparation, put me a message. Anywhere you feel, ma'am, can you go little slow? Can you go little fast? See, I am not able to see you all students. But if you are watching it live, if you are watching it recording, you can anytime message me on WhatsApp. Okay. All the best to all of you for Sunday exam preparation, and mail me all your papers. I'll correct and give you the papers. All the best. Bye-bye.